Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. We got some big things happening. Yeah, we're worried about the election here in America. We're worried about stuff, right? Oh, yeah. We're worried about everything in America here. But, you know, there's some things going on the other side of the planet that may be of a little bit of concern. Right? Russia is planning on moving 70,000 civilians out of Kherson. You've got Kherson, Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk. Russia is making and preparing and justifying some big moves that could result in outright war. Now, as we know, or as you should know, and I should know, we should all know that civilians are the ones who take the brunt of the pain in a war. I'm not putting down the military, right? But the military knows what they're doing. They should. The military should be prepared to take losses, but the civilian population never really knows what's going to happen. They're kept in the dark. That's just how that works. They don't need to know, according to military and governments. They keep the civilians in the dark, literally. So what's happening? If they're moving civilians out of Kherson, Russia, if they're doing that, what does that mean? Could that be an indicator that Russia knows the civilian population is going to be in danger and they need to move them in order to protect them? Right? Because civilians are not supposed to be pawns that are disposable in a war. Right? That's supposed to be what you're doing, is protecting your people, not putting them in harm's way. So Russia appears to be doing that thing, the very thing which all governments should do, protect their people. Why? Folks, as we march down this road, it's becoming evident that we're going to be in a wider war with Russia. American troops being sent into Ukraine, right? We're getting that report. The idea that, hey, yeah, we can launch some nuclear weapons, no problem here. I don't know what they're thinking. And Russia is going to present the world, as well as some members of the coalition forces that are screwing around over there in Ukraine. Russia's got evidence, they claim, that Britain, the United Kingdom, MI6 maybe, right, is responsible for the drone attack on another Russian warship. So this is not just a little skirmish over some land. We're now seeing full-on attacks against, and it's looking more and more like the West is directly involved. Yes, it's a proxy war using Ukraine, but it's becoming more evident, right, of who is doing it and why, and et cetera. Right, the United States, the United Kingdom, all of the European Union, NATO, right, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's just beyond reproach, right? It can't be denied. It's stupid to try and deny what's going on. If you keep getting punched by someone in the back of the head, and you turn around and you look at someone and they're pointing at the little scrawny nerd and say, no, it's the little scrawny nerd that's punching you, and you turn around and it's this bully punching you in the back of the head, pretty soon you're going to figure out that it's the bully, right? It's not going to be real hard to figure that out. And Russia, right, big bad Russia, it's not going to take them long to figure out that they need to do something about it. They've been promising for a long time there's going to be consequences. They've been saying that, and guess what? It has come true already. They are bombing the pudding out of Kiev. And sadly, the people of Kiev are the ones who are suffering for the moves of the military, the decisions of the government, the Zelensky regime. They choose not to seek peace, but instead fight the war. They sought to attack Russia on Russian soil, Russian civilians, Russian infrastructure. So now, that's right. Putin went after his infrastructure. Now, through all of this, right, the West says, Russia, sell us your oil, but you're bad, you're evil, you're wrong. Sell us your energy, but you're bad, you're evil, you're wrong. Russia, bad, but sell us your energy, sell us your oil, but we don't want to pretend like we're getting your oil. Folks, they're sneaking oil out of Russia to avoid sanctions. They're going through third parties to avoid sanctions. Everyone knows it. Surely as the police in Chicago know where the bad guys are and can't do anything about it and won't do anything about it, right? As surely as that, Russia's getting its energy out, and the people of Europe are, to the best of their ability, getting it so they can stay warm and keep their businesses open and keep their cars fueled up. This entire thing is a complete farce as far as intelligence goes. And the other side of the equation, in addition to energy, is, hey, Russia, you suck, you're evil, you're bad, but hey, don't stop sending us food. We need your grain, we need your food. That's right, folks. The Russian military was promised by Ukraine it wouldn't be attacked, right? That there would be safety in the ports, yada, 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 blowing smoke up their ass, and then they attack their warships. They attack their navy. But don't stop selling us your food, Russia. No, Russia's agreed not to stop selling them selling food to the world, right? There's supposed to be an agreement there. Unbelievable. Right? This bully keeps punching the Russian bully. And again, I don't want to pretend like Russia's all innocent and they're all friendly and they're all good. Right? They are Russia and they're doing what Russia does. Right? But England, Europe, the U.S. government in Washington, D.C., right? They are not without blame and without stain, and they're pulling some really dirty, underhanded moves. Very dirty, very underhanded. And I'm expecting this to explode, quite literally. I'm expecting a huge expansion. And I believe that that expansion is going to take place very soon. Right? There's consequences. And why would someone risk these consequences? For what? For what gain and what purpose? Why risk World War III? Why risk making the people suffer? Why risk turning off the power to industry and the economy? Well, they wanted their great reset, folks. They wanted an excuse. They wanted a reason. They needed to shut everything down. They needed everyone to suffer so that they'll be starving, freezing, desperate, and willing to accept whatever, right, the World Economic Forum, the oligarchs demand. That's what's here. That's what is happening. That's what they want, is the world to accept their demands and be happy. Remember that. You will own nothing and be happy. That was one of the first lines that most of the world heard about the World Economic Forum, that's their goal for us. Are you prepared? You know, pray that you aren't part of the attack zone. You know, pray that you have a good supply of food, that your water is safe. You know, that your community and your state is going to be unaffected directly. But we are all, right now, even now, being indirectly affected. Right? We're seeing it in inflation. We're seeing it in business. Right? I'm seeing and hearing about job layoffs. In fact, right, the Federal Reserve yesterday raised interest rates nearly a full point, right, 0.75%, just like that, because Jerome Powell, right, has this massive toolbox that they can fix the economy with. As I've said in the past, the only thing they can do is print more money and raise or lower interest rates. That's their toolbox. Everything else is just bullshit and talk that, well, it affects things, but they can't change anything other than people's perception. And while perception is reality for most, I say I perceive the world through reality, not try and make the world's reality with my perceptions. But that's the difference between, I guess, a realist and someone living in fantasy land. World War III, folks. Do you see it? Do you understand it? Are you prepared? Chance favors the prepared mind. It does. God bless America. Semper Fi.